Hello and welcome back, everyone, to Bloodstained Ritual of the Night on Rocket Rabbit Commentaries Hard Mode Fresh. And in this episode, I'm still trying to cast Trundicating Gyre. I will cast this spell, damn it.
We could try. We could fail.
Yeah, the big issue, as I covered last part, is the fact that I'm not actually using a weapon that can cast the damn spell. I don't remember this until a little bit further into the part. So...
The Gyre Sword.
No, it's not the Gyre Sword. You can do it with Pelicus, Yukon Sava, and there's one other axe that you can do it with, but I forget what the axe is actually called. The big thing, the big one that you need to know that you can do it with, though, is the Pelicus, because the Pelicus is the axe that you get access to pretty much immediately after you clear Galleon. So.
Well, Miriam, what's bringing you down? You got the skills, you got the weapons,
yeah, it's the
you got the attire, the armor. I can't use the Gyre special attack like I read in that book.
Alright, so, moving into the Garden of Silence, you guys should notice that this looks okay so far. I mean, there's a couple more enemies floating around, but... Oh, look, it's double Barbados in the first fucking room.
Yeah, you'll make it far in hard mode. When pigs fly.
But because there are double Barbados in the opening room, we also get access to True Arrow relatively early. Oh, I'm sorry, there are 3 Barbados in the opening room. Yeah. The big thing that's gonna become a theme throughout the entirety of the playthrough is, very specifically, I really dislike the increased enemy density that we end up having to fight through, because the increased enemy density is just not fucking balanced for Miriam, specifically with the increased amount of damage that she ends up taking, at least early on.
Well,
now, you saw that I just took 55 points of damage right there, right? I can only take 5 of those before I have to head home.
Go big or go home.
Or rather, go big and go home. Ugh. Oh, right. I'm attempting to show off a specific shortcut here, and it requires that I have my familiar double hammer heads off. Ouch.
Well, that hurt.
Not as much as getting hit by Barbados did, but yeah. Take off your weapon.
Iron Maiden.
Yeah. Come on, Frog.
Hop a little closer. I'm gonna put you in the Iron Maiden.
Yes, that is exactly what we're doing.
It worked.
And the reason we do this is to get the Beast Beret, which means that we can finally take off our Dolahammer helm.
Now we have pointy ears?
Yes, we have elf ears. It's another one of the accessories that we have on. Unfortunately, we don't get to be in the Garden of Silence all that long. It's really just, about 5-ish rooms when we're here the first time. Because we can't access this chariot yet. Although I did skip over that area, mostly because I'm at effectively half health, and I don't... This is bugged out. I don't understand why we have access... why this room is like this right now. It's definitely not supposed to be like that at the moment.
You mean lit up with the red moon?
Yeah, it's not supposed to be lit up with the red moon yet.
Not yet. Maybe it's just getting you in the mood because it's hard mode.
I kind of doubt it, honestly. I think it's just bugged.
Because, I tell you, putting on Ethan Must Die mode in Resident Evil 7 puts the fear of God in you right away, because as soon as you enter, it's red sky and total darkness, in what is easily one of the most challenging aspects of the game.
So what does red sky actually do in Resident Evil 8?
Well, there is no red sky in Resident Evil 8.
Oh, okay.
Unless, maybe... Nah, I've tried all the alternate game... Well, I've tried most of the alternate game modes, although I don't think Shadows of Rose actually, takes that much of a demonic turn, although I wouldn't put it past the game to do that because you are technically in what is effectively an imaginary land taking place inside the mind of the Mutamycete.
Orbital Wheel. Orbital Wheel is a spell that I don't think I've ever actually cast, mostly because it requires us to try and cast it with the Lance Weapon. And the Lance Weapon, although is relatively easy to obtain early on, is a Spear class weapon, and most of the Spear class weapons are pretty goddamn bad. It's not that their attack is actually terrible. It's that they have exactly one special attack that is viable, and with only a single special attack, then that is viable for them. And it's not orbital wheel. It's not a weapon type that I'm actually all that comfortable with.
Stop right there.
You speak.
It's Solid Snake.
Is it?
Well, it is David Hayter, so.
I know what you are. That ghastly air about you. You reek of sorcery, Shardbinder.
And what am I to make of you?
I'm your volume mixer fucking up.
Me? I'm your execution.
See? He's at like half volume there, and it bothers the hell out of me. Anyway, welcome to Zang 1. You'll notice that on hard mode, Zang 1 is actually significantly faster. Also, he has the ability to 3-shot you. So, yeah.
Yeah, just watch the direction
Oh,
he's about
and
to
he
swing
can
his
delete
sword
your
in.
and he can delete your Dollahammer heads. So, yeah.
Oh, well, damn it.
Well, we did get him into phase 2 on our first attempt, so that's nice.
Right. On our first attempt. I'm glad you qualified
Ow.
that. Yep, dying in slow motion.
Yeah. You see, he gets access to Flying Vajra, and it actually has a much larger hitbox than it did during normal mode. I don't like that. I don't like that Zang's Flying Vajra gets an explosion radius upgrade for this fight, mostly because at this point Miriam doesn't really have access to any decent good defensive movement options in order to actually in order to actually deal with it.
So you mean we got to look at his Guar shoes every time we lose to him?
Not every time, but every time we start this fight, he deletes our fucking Dollahammer head. It's not nice.
Yeah, dodge, slide kick, dodge, jump, evade.
Ow.
And the Dollahammer heads are all gone.
Yep. You'll notice that what I'm doing for this fight is something that I should be doing throughout a majority of the rest of the playthrough, is chaining up a relatively powerful Conjure Shard after my melee attack. Because it effectively triples my damage output. But, yeah.
I know Zangetsu 1 is hard, but we already saw you die on this boss.
I need to show... I want to use this time to explain what the actual difficulty for hard mode is. Because... Zang 1 and Vepar actually have relatively the same goddamn problem, even in the normal game. They hit really, really hard for at a point of the game where you don't have really good defensive options, and this was actually a problem during my first normal mode playthrough, where I got stuck on Zang 1 for almost a whole fucking day because I just straight up could not figure out when was a good time to attack him, and I was like, no, this is much too difficult for me. I did eventually manage to fight through it thanks to True Arrow, a spell that you'll notice I'm not using all that much here.
Yeah. Explosive radius, huh?
Yeah, the explosive radius on Flying Vajra is a huge problem for me.
Woo!
Ow!
Falling, twirling through the air in slow motion. That made me laugh. I mean, it probably wasn't that fun to watch while playing, but I enjoyed watching that in post.
Yeah.
Alright,
I always have a lot of difficulty with Zang 1 on hard mode. Mostly because I just straight up don't have enough damage to actually damage race him to the point, and I don't have the gauge goggles yet in order to have any real defensive measurements going for me. Mind you, you can't on a fresh file. You straight up cannot have the gauge goggles at this point in the game yet. So, and also he gets access to 11th hour, and if you attempt to do a melee attack on him while he's under 11th hour, you're just taking a third of your health and damage. And the weird thing about 11th hour is that as long as he does the taunt in hard mode, 11th hour is active.
Yeah.
And look at that! I just straight up cannot jump over that.
Well, you survived with the equivalent of 1 HP.
No, I did not. See?
Oh, I know. Okay, so that was only 70 seconds off the clock. At least they were nice enough to put a save room only one room away from the boss fight.
For the record,
this game.
Igavanians have been doing that since Igavanians have been doing that since Aria of Sorrow. Every time that there's a boss room, there's always a save room right next to it.
I wish Dark Souls was that forgiving.
But then again, Dark Souls is a bad video game, so.
Dark Souls is not a bad video game. It's
Yes,
just
it is.
dumb at times. Every game has its moments of stupidities, even the good ones. I mean, the great ones. Foolishness.
I really wish I was actually good. Was actually good at Bloodstained, because then this fight wouldn't actually be all that difficult. But you see what he just did there. What he just did there was he did a horizontal slash attack while he's dashing. I straight up don't have an answer for that. Like,
Okay, that was attempt number 6.
Miriam will get exactly one answer to that specific attack about a third of the way through the game, and that is their only answer for it for the entirety of the game. Well, to be perfectly honest, she gets effectively 2 answers for that, but the second answer for it is at the literal end of the game. So.
Greta, I think what the game is trying to tell you at this point is that you are simply not strong enough to take on this boss right now.
And it's lying at me. It's very specifically lying at me. I know that it's lying at me because this was during the practice route, I was actually slightly less powerful during this fight. I was using Pelagist during the practice run, and the Pelagist actually does, like, I think 21 damage at this point. Now, whereas I'm hitting him for 25 with Deathbringer. 26 with Deathbringer.
I find Zangestu's slow reaction time just adorable, that he's giving you a chance to hit him. Alright, well, this is looking pretty hot. He advanced to the second stage of the boss fight, and you still have lots of health.
Now I have 2 hits of health left.
No, you got 3.
Nope,
You can
I
take-
have 2.
you can
If
take
he
a
hits me
third.
with Flying Vajra, he hits me for 147 damage. Like, literally, I can dodge virtually everything else with the exception of the dash slash. But if he hits me with Flying Vajra, I have 2 hits of health left.
Yeah.
See? 147.
Yeah, that hurt.
And unfortunately, I'm out of mana, so I can't act... No, there we go. I finished him off with Head Foil. Hey, Dominique.
Cease this at once, Zangetsu.
Here we go.
How many times do I have to tell you? Our enemies are the demons.
What do you mean, our enemies?
And I say, what is the difference? The alchemists were the gunmen, the shardbinders the gun. All must be dismantled.
With my
In
blade.
the case of the alchemists, you are right. They coveted the powers of hell and must pay for it. But Miriam is not like them. She is fighting for us, at great personal risk.
Really? You forget how many of our friends perished for similarly misplacing their faith.
We will never see that
I
event.
look as weak. Look closer.
I was bored with her anyway.
Bye, Snake.
Do your job.
Right. You just got bored.
To Alfred.
Well, yeah. I mean, we only did about 1,000 damage to him, and he has 4,000 HP.
Listen to me, Shardbinder.
I was expecting more of a challenge after all this time, Chris. How
You
disappointing.
can hold me to my word, Dominique. But don't presume to tell me what else I can or cannot do.
Zhang being an asshole actually totally makes sense for the record. I'm okay with Zhang being an asshole to us.
I apologize for my acquaintance. He had no right to speak to you like that.
Pay it no mind. I've been through worse.
Bullshit!
No, we've been through worse. I mean, because little does anybody realize that Miriam remembered those game overs.
That trust.
Well, you have my thanks. It's nice to know that I have someone on my side.
Demon
Right.
hunter from a land far to the east.
Oh, the dramatic irony is just screamingly funny.
Perhaps even longer. Demons robbed him of everything precious to him. And
Yeah,
he
technically
despised
Zangestu is supposed to be from is the main character of Curse of the Moon, but Curse of the Moon happens in a strictly alternate timeline to Ritual of the Night. So I wager that Zangestu is actually from Neo, but I've not actually played Neo, so.
Maybe it was a lack of conviction that dulled his blade. Well, I'll be off then. I mustn't leave Anne alone for tea.
He traveled from a distant land far to the east.
Alright, so we have 94 HP. Go back to the save room!
Stop laughing at my cosplay ears! Quit it! It's not funny!
Oh, and now we level up. Bleh.
I worked really hard on these!
Alright, in the next episode, we'll continue on to Danjet Cathedral. Be safe, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Remember that perseverance is your friend.